Hello, we're continuing on our series on just interviewing fun and interesting people. And so today we've got a fun guy, pastor, longtime pastor from Florence, South Carolina. And Florence is a city, Lonnie tells me, that's roughly about the size of Longview, Kelso, Rainier. And I've been to his church a couple times, and I actually got to preach there. Had the honor of preaching there. Wonderful congregation. I just absolutely loved it, and got to help with worship there too. Really had fun. And but anyway, so Lonnie, I was telling you, how many churches we had in Longview, Kelso, and I told him 80. And I thought, man, I'm going to blow him away with how many churches we have. And you said the city about the same as our area. How many churches do you guys have?
700.
700. That's a difference between the pagan Northwest and the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
700 churches in a town of about 50,000, 45, 50,000. That's amazing. So we think we have a lot. Can you describe your church a little bit to us?
It is. It's a good church.
Well, it is.
It's the reason I say that is we have an open door, open heart policy, and so since the conception of Lamb's Chapel in 1989, we have been a multiracial congregation, which is kind of interesting.
Very cool.
And it's never been something we've had to promote, because I think when people come into a room, they can pick up the atmosphere. It doesn't, It's not what you put on the marquee or what you put in the bulletin or things of that nature. Yeah. It's really about, what's in the atmosphere and what's in people's hearts.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that part. When I was there, too, I could sense it right away. I mean, you see it right away. So you said that you actually have, especially the last little while, I guess, you've had a lot of people come to your church who maybe didn't, and they came. You were telling me one of the reasons is because you guys.
Well, Dr. Judson Cornwell, Dr. Fuchsia Pickett, Marianne Brown, John Carr.
Big names.
Yeah. A lot of these folks were a part of our lives in the formative years, and actually were on our advisory board. And one of the things Dr. Cornwell used to say to me, Chuck, was, he said, if you use a horse and pony show to get people to church, he said, then you've got to use a horse and pony show to keep them there.
Ooh.
And he said, but the other thing will happen is if you grow your congregation based on that, he said, somebody will always come to town and have a bigger horse and pony show. And so the answer to that question, the Word of God is clearly an important part of our lives. And, Paul said in 1 Timothy 2:15 that we were to study to show ourselves approved and to be workmen of God who need not to be ashamed. But it's a twofold thing. It said rightly dividing and rightly handling.
Yes.
The word. And there are a lot of people that will take the word, and instead of feed the flock, they beat the flock.
Ooh.
And there are a lot of folks that will take the word and they take it out of context. But I think what Paul was saying is to Timothy, he said, Timothy, you need to stick with the entire counsel of God. And 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16 says that it's not only for doctrine, but it's also for correction, it's for comfort, it's for reproof, that we might be men and women that are fully equipped for what we're doing. Yeah. And I love what's going on at Father's house, because you're a man of the word. I've known that since we first met, and you and Nancy, and it just we were in the same circles and a few things.
Yes,
and
we were.
And,
yes, we are. Yeah.
And you just I appreciate your love for worship. I appreciate your love for the Lord and for His people, as well as for the Word.
Awesome. It's just a privilege to have Lonnie. It's amazing. He and his friend Jerry from Lamb's Chapel in South Carolina. They came here. They flew all the way just for this conference with Ken Fish and Jay LaRue. But we're just loving having Lonnie here. And Lonnie, I've seen you several times, at our house when we've been over to your place. I've seen you. Just the Word is open. You like to read it. It's all marked through. You have a million. Look at all these pen marks showing how many places. This guy preaches the Word. He's a Jesus guy. He's not just trying to make people feel better about themselves or whatever. And like you say, the dog and pony show. It's really Jesus, and it's the Word. And so we're so thrilled, Lonnie, that you're here. Thanks for joining us, and God bless you.